Hello, this is Rick from the Rickster Scope. How is everyone doing? I hope you're fine on this total eclipse eve. And today's video is going to be about love and how astrology deals with it and relates to it and such, and the planets. I've done a lot of shorts about love, but I haven't mentioned too much about it in any of my videos, so I thought I would cover that issue in this video. I usually have written materials before me to read, but I'm just going to discuss it all and see how that goes today. When we think about love, romantic love, uh, in astrology, we usually start with the planets Mars and Venus. Those are the two love planets, and when they get together, uh, sparks can fly. And whether that's an easy thing or a hard thing depends on the aspect that Mars in one person's chart makes to Venus in another person's chart, and how their charts interact holistically as well. But Mars is the masculine planet, of course, and in a heterosexual relationship would usually be the man, and Venus would be the woman. And it could be either person, but that's usually how it goes. And of course, in gay relationships and others in between, it could be either person. But Mars is usually the more masculine side of sex, and Venus is the more feminine side of sex. And with any couple, those could switch roles. Those could switch. And when we're talking about masculine or maleness or feminine and femaleness, it doesn't necessarily have to do with sex, although that's what we think of first. But we interact socially in our relationships in that way too. Many times, one person takes the lead, and the other assists or helps with the direction and the decision that is already made. But other planets are involved too in love relationships, uh, especially the sun and the moon. In longer term relationships, there's usually a connection between the sun and the moon in the couple's chart. And I did do a write up with my friend Jacqueline Bigger about that when we discuss the luminaries. But I'm not going to bring that into this discussion right now. But the sun and the moon have a connection here, especially, well, I'll say especially in heterosexual relationships. But I have also found that in gay relationships and anything in between, there's still usually a connection between the sun and the moon, whether it's an easy aspect or a hard aspect or a conjunction or what. There's usually a connection between um, the sun and the moon. And let's discuss some of the other planets now, too. Mercury deals with how you communicate your love to another person. So if Mercury is making an easy aspect to Venus in your chart, that would be a good time to express love to someone that you do love and to do it in your own unique way. Um, so Mercury deals with how we discuss it and how we think about it too. Uh, Mars, we have Venus and then Mars also, and we've already discussed those planets. And then there's Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of expansion and growth, and Jupiter would help a relationship along. It would make the relationship feel um, joyful, expansive, uh, lucky, maybe. And there's a feeling of well being between the two people who have Jupiter uh, predominant in their sign history and charts. Um, so Jupiter would be lucky. But now, if some of the aspects are square or opposition, there might be some excesses there as well, because Jupiter can lead to excess, and it can lead to one of the partners being a bit self-righteous or feeling that he or she is the better of the two, and that almost never works in a relationship. Um, but it doesn't have to go that way. You just have to be careful of it if it's a hard relationship, if it's a hard aspect that you're dealing with there. And then the next planet would be Saturn. Saturn is the disciplinarian of the zodiac, and it deals with reality, it deals with timing, it deals with practicality. And in terms of just about all long term relationships, whether romantic or not, Saturn plays a part in the charts. There needs to be some Saturn influence between two people um, for relationships to last. So, Saturn is not going to be exciting in a relationship, but it will be practical, it will be helpful, and it will be the glue that keeps a relationship together for a long time as well. And then we have Uranus. Uranus is the planet of awakening and surprises and the unexpected. And uh, when we have an aspect like Venus trine Uranus uh, that affects a person's chart, of love at first sight, because the spark and the electricity they are already, even at the beginning, and you can feel it, and it feels electric. But that would be good if the aspect is an easy aspect, maybe a trine or a sextile. Even the conjunction might not be too bad, but a square or an opposition might be a bit much, too much of a good thing. There might be a little bit too much there. There is such a thing of too much of a good thing. And then we go on to the planet of Neptune. And Neptune deals with spirituality. So when we have Neptune involved, we think of the relationship in terms of the spiritual nature of it. And and Neptune is very deep. It's deep emotionally, like the ocean. So you're thinking of deep emotions when you're thinking of Neptune and spirituality. But the negative side of Neptune is deception, illusion, uh, fraudulent activities. So there's a positive and negative side to all the planets, and negative can be very debilitating in a relationship where the negative manifestation occurs. But if the positive occurs, it can be blissful, absolutely blissful. And then Pluto. Pluto, our outer planet, most of the time, uh, deals with intensity and seduction and sex and psychology. And if you have an easy flow of energy in a relationship that has Pluto influencing it, it can be very deep. It can be very intense and very romantic and very wonderful if that's the type of relationship that you're looking for. Um, but if the negative manifestations of Pluto, oh, and of course with the positive ones, sex is just beyond belief if you've got good Pluto aspects. But the negative manifestation and some of the harder aspects with Pluto can lead to perhaps violence, selfishness, psychological abuse, um, some of the abusive relationships that you might have seen that I have seen uh, seem to continue on, even though one person feels abused and would maybe rather get out of the relationship. It's almost as if the person can't leave because they're under some sort of psychological uh, they're in some psychological jail cell or something and they can't leave or something. Pluto is that sort of the negative manifestation of Pluto is that sort of thing. And you have to be careful if you've got Pluto um, dealing with your chart and another person's chart because it can be so easy to fall into that trap. Sometimes even with the easier aspects, but it's usually a harder aspect that you're going to have a problem with. But it's always good to be careful with that anyway. And so that's how the planets deal with love and relationships of the romantic type, and some of the other ones too. You can include it with that. And I'm going to go ahead and conclude this discussion for now. If you have questions or comments, please leave them in the comments section and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Please do. And if you like this video, please like it. And if you have not already, please subscribe to my channel, The Rickster. And I'll leave you for now. Thank you for watching.